I thought about making this voiceover for this Harley Benton ES type of guitar. So first, let's start with the things I didn't like. So to get the elephant out of the room. Is it realistic to expect high quality hardware at this price range? And let's be honest here, I think it's not. I think hardware will always be the biggest downside of this kind of instruments. This doesn't mean you have to replace the hardware the moment you are buying the guitar. Well, if you want the guitar to perform the same way a Gibson does, or you want it to last for as long as a Gibson does, then yes, I guess you have to. But is it mandatory? I think not. I also didn't like some elements of the fretboard, and with that I mean the trapezoids. They are made of celluloid, and I don't like this kind of material on my fretboard. And especially with this kind of instruments where the frets aren't very tall, and from time to time, or when you're bending, you tend to feel the fretboard surface. There aren't any huge gaps between the trapezoids and the fretboard, but they are placed just a tiny bit lower than the rest of the board, and that made the adjustment of the truss rod very, very tough, as you can see here. So to wrap it up about the fretboard, I think the frets quality, the frets material quality is really nice, and I think they are well made. I think the frets weren't perfectly flat, and the guitar needed the extended fret leveling. Also, the top of the frets had some scratches left from the fret leveling done in the factory. Another thing I didn't like about the board was the downslope at the end of the fretboard. I think it were a bit exaggerated, and it made the playability on the lower frets less of a joy. Okay, now let's talk about the finish of the guitar, which were perfect, and I really liked the wood that were chosen for the guitar. Even though the top is a veneer, it wasn't bad, and so were the binding and everything else I can think of aesthetic-wise. The guitar had no imperfections, and if you wasn't able to see the headstock, you could never guess its price. Here you can also see how I tie the strings to the tuners. Another thing with budget instruments is how well they are coming out of the box. For this one I can't really tell because my client made a basic setup on his own, but what I had to adjust was the height of the nut and file the slots to accept 11s. So I can't really tell you how well the initial setup was made, but in most cases with this kind of instruments, if you want to squeeze the most out of it, it's a good idea to take it to your local luthier. So now let's talk a little bit about the pickups. Even though I don't think they are the best pickups out there, I wouldn't replace them with some other passive humbucker kind of pickup, because I think the difference in the sound will be less than 5%. The guitar is coming with two push-pull potentiometers to switch into single coil mode for both pickups, but I didn't really love the single coil mode. The pickups lost a lot of volume, and even though it is usable when recording or you have time to configure your amplifier or your rig to the single coil volume, I don't think it's easy to switch between single coil to humbucker without adjusting your rig. I would gladly buy this guitar to use it as my jazz guitar, but I would prefer the sound of P90s. And probably I would consider switching to Fishmans. I hope I haven't forgot anything, and if I did, leave a comment and I'll surely answer. That's the first time I'm trying to voice over, and I'm not sure how well will it go. But anyways, thanks for being here, and thanks for the awesome support. See you in the next one.